It's 9 o'clock, Monday, live time. Rock the watches here. Hopefully we'll see you in a couple of days. I'm assuming you're still going to make it to the Baltimore meetup. Bill K joining us. Tennessee Mike. Young Excellencies here. Pale Horse, Bean Boy, Tuxedo Manor, Anonymous Watch Guy. That's awesome. Looking forward to meeting you in person. Rock the watch, that is. Nate Dogg, already here. I met Nate Dogg at the Chicago Wind-Up Meet, and we hung out for a little bit. But honestly, Nate, if you're listening, I messed up. I should have grabbed you, Andrew. Craig was already with me, and I should have grabbed Ken and and your guys' wives and stuff, and we should have went and did our own thing. We should have went and grabbed some pizza or something. Like, I messed up. I wish I could go back and change things. That didn't work out well for me, so. Next time I'm down there, we're definitely just going to go hang out. Tom for watches, Matthew's here, Paul, Larry C's here, Kevin checking in from Florida, Greg Wood is here. Actually, I hung out with Greg Wood the whole time. But see, I would have grabbed Greg too. Yeah, but Nate, I was working, you're right. I was working at the show, kind of. But also enjoying, I'm a watch enthusiast, first and foremost. But, so I was doing that, but then, like, after the show, like, it wasn't really work. It was, like, chill time. So, even once I made that decision, I went, like, I had instant regret. I was like, man, I should have grabbed those guys. Like, when you guys said you were going to do that, I should have been like, yeah, let's go do that. And then I just hung out with you guys. That would have been better. Bobby Legs is here. Garage Beers says, you ever check out the Tudor 1926? I just ordered one. The 1926 is like super underrated. That's an awesome watch. Floridian is here. Let's see, YZ80's checking in. Kentucky Greg. Todd is here checking in from Colorado. Just trying to read some comments here. Canadian Watch Monkeys here. My buddy Michael up in Canada. Desire 68 is here. MJO, also from Edmonton, Canada. Let's see here. Trying to read some comments. I know I'm going to miss some of these guys. I'm sorry. Don't worry, guys. I'm here. John is here. SVT staying 03. I thought I said 93. Let's see. My buddy Detroit Spartan is here. Ethan, Howie. Did you go to Al's for an Italian beef in Chicago? I didn't. Howie, I wasn't in Chicago very long. It was a very, very, very short trip. And I went to some place that, honestly, it was kind of cool that I was able to go to that place. But, oh, Kentucky Greg is Neff's dad? Okay. That's cool. Thanks for joining. Actually, I thought we were supposed to meet up with Neff. I need to reach out to him. I thought we were meeting up with him in Chicago at the Wind-Up Show, and I guess we never touched base or anything, so I don't know if he was there and I just missed him or what. Jay says he missed me in Chicago. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, Neff, did you guys go to the Wind-Up Show? Because, like, I don't know what happened. So, yeah. I don't really care about the eating and going to drink and stuff like that. I just wanted to hang out with people. I would have been fine with, like, I don't think the hotel would have allowed it where I was staying. But Brave Sailor says, can't wait to give you a huge hug in Baltimore. Oh, no. This might get weird. Craig G is here. So, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with just, like, going to hang out somewhere where it's, like, a little more quiet and you can actually just talk and chill and stuff, so. I agree, John. This is really growing on me, especially since they changed the Breitling Super Ocean. Now I might look at the Heritage more versus the new model. I like the new model, but this thing is like you said, it's kind of sexy, especially in the two-tone. Clayton says maybe he should get his own room. We'll figure it out. I wore at the Chicago event. I did wear the I call it the Olicky, but it's the Olik and Waz. Um, and actually, like 4 or 5 people recognized the brand just on my wrist, so that was pretty cool. I thought it was going to be a deeper track, and I didn't think people would notice it, but they did. So yeah, the Heritage is awesome. I typically am not drawn to this model, but I mean, it looks great on wrist. Oh man, I feel like I got to sneeze. You guys ever have that? Now I got to sneeze. Dang it. I don't have anything. Ooh, hopefully it goes away. Let's see. Eric E says the Metric arrived. Love it. Thank you, Rob. That's awesome. That is a very cool watch. Hopefully it works out great for you. Let's see. Craig G says the green dial Super Ocean is awesome. I agree. Do you still have the Trasca that I bought from Rob? See, we all like swap watches. We're all serial flippers, but somebody ends up being the end user, right? Let's see. SVT Staying says, I love those 5KX GMTs, but I just don't like those black leaning color shades on the dial and bezel. Yeah, that part is interesting, but you got to think too, like there's going to be other colorways. Tennessee Mike says, rub your eye to get rid of the sneeze. I don't know. It went away. So, I mean, there's going to be other colorways. This is just the first 3 that they did. So, and then, of course, you could probably mod that. I'm guessing you could put a different 24-hour bezel or something in there from one of the mod companies and change it up a bit. Because it would be just like an SKX or 5KX insert. So, it shouldn't be too difficult to do. The Big Wrist says he's waiting for DHL to drop off his RZE. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I absolutely love these. I haven't watched anybody's video on it because I need to make my own. I just did the unboxing, but... Oh, Neff says, no, my grandfather came to Kentucky from Palm Springs. He's 96, so I had to stay. Okay, cool. I don't, whatever. I just wanted to make sure, like, I didn't miss you at the event. I was trying to keep track of, you know, who I was going to meet up with and everything. And of course, at the wind-up show, there was just random people that were like, hey, you're Random Rob, right? So we, like, talked for a second. You know, I met Roman and his wife and his 2 little kids. They were there. They're living in Chicago. They're local to Chicago. But it was kind of cool to talk to them. They're actually from Ukraine. And so their accent was really cool. So it was cool to meet them. And then, I don't know, I just met so many cool people there. So just random people coming up to me. It was awesome. Hopefully I was very approachable. I did my best to accommodate people with a little bit of time. Let's see, Greg Wood. Yeah, the folio or whatever. I think that's how you say it. Let's see. Did you crash the wedding? No, that wedding ended up being in South Bend, Indiana, and I didn't have the time. This is a really cool watch. I did the unboxing for it because I met the owner, Izzy, the owner of the brand, in Chicago. And turns out we had talked before. Like, I just lose track of communication with so many people. And at the show, he was like, well, which colorway do you want to take? Like, just take one now rather than shipping it. Just take it right now. I have them here. So I picked this one. I like this one out of the 3 colorways. I liked the cream or off-white, you know, chapter on the inside to break up that dial. And it really goes well with the gilt handset and the printing and everything. So, and it's got a ball bearing bi-directional bezel. Pretty cool. And then has a really nice taper on the bracelet and a thin clasp, thin as in like it's not wide. And it has the quick micro adjust in there like you would see like in a Christopher Ward or like some of the Zelos and stuff, but in a really narrow bezels or clasp, excuse me. So really well built watch. And I think these are like, I think the retail price on the website is like 14 something like that. But, and then also little red reveal there on the crown tube. So, that's just kind of cool. Extra stuff, extra stuff. Speaking of extra stuff, this thing comes with a bunch of extra stuff. So pretty cool package for 1,500. You might be able to get a discount on it. Let's see. Garage Beer says, kind of reminds me of an Astor Banks. Well, so when you get into these micro brands, a lot of times they will look familiar, and there's a reason why they look familiar, and it's because they'll come out of the same factories. So like if you think it looks like if you handled it and looked at it and you're like, well, it kind of gives me Astor Banks vibes. Well, chances are they probably are made in the same manufacturing facility. So they have like, you'll see some of whatever looks familiar to you, and it's because of the way they're manufactured. Hey, Hector from Winding Crowns is here. Paul is asking, any new from Astor Banks? I've been waiting for a Sea Ranger for a while. I didn't talk to the owner a ton, but he's been doing a lot of work on his other brand, Soul Labs. So those will be launched pretty soon as well. What is the gold? Why is the 80s asking? What's the gold watch in front of the Marty McFly? This is the limited edition Seiko 5KX Huff. So retail price $420. Just kind of a fun brand. My buddy Jerry sent this over. Why can I not get that thing to... I cannot get this spring bar to set in there for whatever reason. It just won't. I cannot get it to seat properly for some reason. I'll have to fiddle with this off camera. I was messing with it earlier and I couldn't get it to seat. It came undone even in the packaging, so I'll get that spring bar to seat. Those 5KXs, the way the spring bar holes are done on there, I don't know why they did them different than the SKX style ones. They should have made it the same, because they're not as good, the way they have to catch the hole. Power of Hydrogen says, hey Rob, how's it going? Have you picked up one of the new Seiko 5 GMTs? Yes, I bought the orange dial one, but I have the blue and the black here as well. These are all from Mimo, but I did buy the orange dial one. So, but they're all really cool. Does it warrant owning all three? No, I don't really want to own all three. I already have my SKX009, but I don't have an orange dial SKX style watch, even though I have the Monster. So, and this one's just, it's too dang cool. It very much reminds me of the Seiko SKX 011. So has those kind of vibes, but slightly improved bracelet as well. So that is also nice. So yeah, the orange one is mine. I did buy that. Yeah, I think a lot of people bought the orange one for sure. David L. Rob, you have any thoughts on Bernhardt? I think they make some pretty solid watches. I haven't handled one in a long time, but they make good watches. Let's see. Paul says, what was the biggest announcement in micro watches, or newest, latest, and greatest from the Chicago show? Well, let me think. Was there any standouts? I don't know. I had a blast at the Formex booth, which I already did those, and then I had to send them to them because they needed them for the show. But I will get another one on to do a little more in-depth talk on it. But Formex is like killing it. Their watch designs, their interchangeable bezels, which I did get a video because somebody had asked in my prior video if basically the dive and the GMT bezels were interchangeable, and I had said no in the comments, but turns out, and I actually confirmed it with the owners on video, and maybe I'll post that up separately, but yeah, you can actually swap the bezels from the diver to the GMT, GMT to the diver, and mix and match however you want. Like it's pretty nuts. So that it works good and consistently. So Formex is killing it. Even their non-divers, I actually like some of their non-divers even more. But Zodiac with the colors, like they just come out with that white and blue one in the Super Seawolf, I think both sizes actually, and then the watermelons, and then the titanium watermelon. I know a bunch of buddies that said that they didn't like the titanium color versus the bling, and the darker, well, black or gray or whatever, dial color on the titanium one. But I thought it looked great, and handling it, it's awesome. My buddy Greg Wood that I met there, turns out he picked up. I don't know if it's the last one, but it's technically the last one because the titanium one is numbered, and he has number 282 of 282, which is sick. That's awesome, right? So I'm glad that I picked up this watermelon. I love this colorway, but there were some other uh, colors there from the brand that I really liked as well. So um, it's not. I don't think it's the sherbet one, but the cream dialed one, or whitish cream dialed one that has a full loom dial and then the orange bezel. I really like that one. That one's really cool. So yeah, Paul, that one I like too. The Lagaro gray from Formex. I would do the white dial one, I think, but that gray one with the carbon chassis or whatever, that thing is awesome. Did you get to see the new Falcon and Zephyr from Laurier? I did. I didn't hang out at that table. I didn't really like interact. Some of the brands, there's just like weird disconnect. I don't know if it's just a language barrier or if it's just I'm there as a YouTube watch reviewer, and I'm there amongst the public, and they're there like trying to educate or interact with their customer base. So it's a weird transition for them, the brand owners, to switch and then go into like, oh, this guy wants to, um, oh, Craig G, that's right. Okay, so the Laurier guy was the one that actually lost his voice. I didn't think it was. I thought it was the next bench over or something. But yeah, I don't know how those guys do it. The brand owners and the reps and everything, they lose their voices. They talk so much. TikTok Watcher says, I just pre-ordered the Seiko 5303-3 with the light blue bezel. Love the colorway. Can't wait to see it. I have not checked out that brand, and I really need to at some point. Favorite full face loom models or any suggestions? There is a ton of really good ones to choose. I mean, if you want crazy affordable, just go pick up an Islander watch. They're really great watches, and he does have some full loom dials. And they're crazy affordable. So you could pick up an Islander if you just want to go on the affordable line. That Zodiac that I talked about that has the full loom dial, that thing is killer. Honestly, Citizen makes a full loomed dial version of this watch, but it has a black case. So if you're fine with the black case, the Citizen is actually really, really cool, really fun. I like that one for a full loom dial. And then, of course, I actually own a Squale 1521. It's the only one that I own, 1521. And then it's a full loom dial, and it's fun. So one thing I've learned when it comes to full loom dials, I like most of them, but when you can get them where there's like this weird greenish yellowish color, I actually really like the daytime look of it as well. Now the Zodiac that I said I liked the dial does not look like this. So I think it's more of a BGW9. It's more white colored versus this yellowish or whatever color. So there's no wrong choice when it comes to full loom dials. Just see which one speaks to you and just go for it. Oh, John says you can still get the full stainless steel Citizen Diver at Amazon. I don't know that it's the larger case though. I think it's more of like the NY0041 or 40 where it's the smaller case. This is the larger case. So I don't know if they did that one in the stainless case. NH Rick is here. He says he's pumped for Baltimore. It's only a couple days away, guys. I'm going to be hanging out with a bunch of great watch people in Baltimore. We're going to have a blast. Yeah, we're going to have a blast. We're going to hang out. We got a little private event with security so that everything will be tight there. And then we have a baseball game scheduled at some point. It's going to be awesome. Good time. Probably eat some crab cakes. We're going to be in Baltimore, right? We got to eat some crab. Hey, there's something for my wrenches to get a hold of. Yeah, NH Rick says it's gonna be warm. It's gonna be warm for sure. Andre says he just joined. Have I talked about the GMTs? A little bit, but I mean, I don't. It depends on what you want to know. So they're freaking awesome. I guess anybody that says that they're not awesome is just mistaken. They're just wrong. This is like a pretty sick move from Seiko. I honestly would have never guessed them to do this in this chassis. The GMT movements have typically been reserved for other watches, not in the dive style, SKX style case. And I think this is epically cool. I just love it. So how could you not pick one up? If you're like, if you got into this hobby at the point where like you were big time into SKXs and then fast forward and the SKX are gone and it's all turtles and Willards and stuff like that, which are also really cool, right? But then you fast forward and then they started doing the 5KXs and all of us were a little let down and everything. But then you fast forward to this one and you're like, wow, that's actually really cool. And I'm not mad that it's in a 5KX configuration. It doesn't matter. I like it. All right, let me scroll back and look at a couple comments here. And it's Rick says Bamford is doing another limited edition G-Shock release. It's Wednesday. I'll have to take a look at that. I have no idea what it looks like. They're cool. If Orient and Long Island can put sapphires on their watches, yeah, they can do that. John says, did you hear about the orange NASA 5610? Mine is coming on Wednesday. Mine should be here soon too. I ordered one as well. Nev says Citizen is killing it, and Miyota is coming out with a true GMT. That's the 9075 movement. If you want to look it up, you might be able to find some information. And it's more than going to give Seiko a run for the money. It's not even, they're playing like a different game, like, because that's the GMT configuration movement that we all really want. We want one that we can jump the hour hand. This one's fine, and it's honestly quite acceptable that Seiko did it in this configuration. It would be like mind-blowing if they would have made it more like the Miyota 9075 is going to be, which they could have. They have the technology. They could have created that movement. It's not impossible. But I think these NH movements are going to be more accessible than the Miyota movements 9075. Those are going to be harder to get. I know that for a fact. I've been talking to some brands that are working with Citizen to get that movement, and they're not just handing them out. So I know a couple brands are already going to do it. I think I might be embargoed. I don't think I'm allowed to say, but there's already some brands that are going to get that movement, and they're going to be doing watches in them. I am not selling all these watches. I literally think none of these watches are for sale. Well, I mean, technically, this one's at Saltzman's, this Breitling, and you could buy that. These, I think, are for sale or already sold. I'm not 100% sure, and so are these, I guess. So some of them are for sale, yes, but not here, not right now. Yeah, micros are definitely going to use the Seiko GMT. I know of 2 brands for sure that already have a model in the works. Neff, yes, this is Jerry's. This was on Flippers. I don't think anybody bought it. So, I mean, if you're watching right now and you want to buy this, you can, but I need to make the video on it, and I'm leaving on a trip, so I'm not going to be able to ship it until I get back. But, yeah. That one, the Huff, and the 2 G-Shocks, I think, should be for sale. And like I said, technically the Breitling is too, but this is a brand new authorized dealer, so you're not going to get any like deals on this one. This one's going to be oh, I went past. We'll see if anybody freaks out. I went 1 click past. Jacob says Rob say the brands. I better not, because it might be embargoed. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what I know. How are you liking the new automatic Citizen diver? I love the new automatic Citizen diver. I like this one, but I also like that new titanium one that's supposed to release pretty soon. That NB, shoot, what is the number? I have it written down somewhere. I don't know where I wrote it down. It's NB something. I actually talked to a couple Citizen reps. They were telling me more about it. So, any info on this? Oh, yeah, the NB 6021. I don't know if that's the right number, but yeah, John, I did talk to the Citizen rep at the wind up show. They were working the worn and wound wind up bench or display for Citizen, and that watch is epically cool. But I think early reports said it was supposed to come out in like August, but now he's saying it might be like, or maybe no, I said it was supposed to come out in July, but he's saying it's pushed till probably August or September. MM10 played nap roulette, and well, you don't really lose nap roulette, you just get more sleep. Let's see. Yes, there's well, not of this. There's not a titanium version of this that's coming out. It's more of how should I say this? It's going to be more of like this. It's going to be I think there might be a date on it though. I can't remember, but it's going to be a three-handed configuration with a stem and crown at the 3 o'clock, but in titanium, but about this size. It's going to be awesome. What watches are you bringing in the trip? I'm not bringing any watches. That way, anybody that's trying to meet up with me for bad intentions won't be able to get anything. Did you do the Pogue colorway? Trying to read some comments here, guys. Oh, okay. So here's Jim gave Neff the measurements on that new titanium one. It's 40.5 by 47 lug to lug, and it's only 12.5 thick. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Engineer Wannabe says the Super Ocean Heritage looks so strange to me. I can't quite put my finger on it. Well, it might just be this colorway because it's two-tone with like a rose gold, but so I don't know. It might be that or what. I don't. Well, and it's got stickers on it too, so it should be like fully polished and everything because it's brand new. I'm not allowed to take the stickers off, so that part looks weird too. I don't know, or maybe it just looks weird to you. Not every watch has to look right, Thumbs for Fingers says, odd question, are all ceramic bezels so shiny? No, you can get brushed ceramic bezels. Do I have any here? No, I do not. Well, no, that's shiny. I was going to say the Notice, but the Notice is shiny. You can get brushed ceramic bezel inserts. It's not very common, but they do exist. Brushed or matte, yes. You can get them in all different semi-gloss, gloss. They can do it in any configuration you want. Great looking, brightly, Rob. Sorry. That was for the newest Islander enough. Oh, sorry. Not the other one. Okay, I got you. Reading some comments, guys. Take one of the AE 1200. I will actually probably just bring a world timer. That's all I'm going to take. Citizen guys mentioned price. I didn't talk to him about price, but I want to say it was like in the 500 or 600. It was in an article too that I had read somewhere. I don't remember who wrote it, but they're not going to be very expensive. Scrolling up, guys, trying to read some comments. I know I missed a bunch, so Real Life Ministry says, where did you get your G-Men at? Yeah, I got most of them actually on eBay. Will Carey says Baltimore. Will Carey's actually, I'll have to do the map and see, but I think Will might be flying in from the furthest destination to Baltimore. He's kind of like near San Francisco, and he's flying all the way to Baltimore. My buddy Calico's flying from Vegas. Brave Sailor's actually flying from San Diego area, I think. So I don't know which one's further, if it's Brave Sailor or it's Will Carey. It's one of the two are flying the furthest to the Baltimore meet. It's awesome. And yes, I will. I've been wearing this a ton, actually. I don't know why. It's mostly the bracelet. It's just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Love this watch. Let's see here. YZ80 says he's driving from Frednick. Jordan VDub says, is the Random Rob Borealis on track for August release? Yes, I think so. Looking at everyday piece, would you go for Manta or Formex? Well, are you talking non-diver? Because non-diver, I don't know, the Mantas are a little dressy-ish. I know you could dress them down, but the Formex non-divers are like, they're pretty sweet. I don't know. That'd be a tough call, depending on your wrist size too. Well, Formex has got the smaller size too. Somebody asked what strap is on this guy. This is the Strap Mill Canada orange vulcanized rubber, I think. I don't think it's FKM. I think it's actually vulcanized rubber, but I know you can get these elsewhere too. I support Strap Mill Canada. They've been good to the channel and everything, so I love the FKM straps. So wherever you get them from, it doesn't really matter. Just get them and try it because they're crazy comfortable. They wear good. They hold up well. Watch We Go says, what's your take on the Rado Golden Horse? I don't know that watch. Kevin Powell says, Manta for a GMT or diver. I don't know. The new Formex GMT and diver is pretty sweet too. Andre says, Squale Full Loom or Doxa 200. The Doxa, again, it's going to depend on your wrist size, even though they both will wear about the same, I guess. The Doxa 200, I actually really like. The Loom on the Doxa 200 is terrible. Absolutely terrible. But the watch itself is actually pretty cool. And I like the lyre lugs. But I don't know. I mean, I have the Squale 1521 and I don't have a Doxa. But I have like a weird history thing with Doxa. So maybe I'm the wrong guy to ask, Doxa or this, because I actually have a watch inbound and I should have it tomorrow. I think it should arrive tomorrow as long as they leave it with me, or leave it at my delivery place. But, and that watch will explain a lot. I've had the watch on the channel before. I'll tell you, it's a Synchron military. What's a weird history thing? Well, I don't know. I don't like the way Doxa conducts their business, I guess. And I know some inner workings of it. That's all. Yeah, Kevin, I picked up the Synchron military, which is like, Synchron used to be the owners of Doxa like a long time ago. And now this Rick guy, I forget his name, he owns that and Isoframe and some other stuff. This story's been out there a bunch of times, but essentially he put out leaked this model or whatever, and there was a little back and forth between Synchron and Doxa, and then Synchron put it out because they own the rights to do it. And yeah, it's just kind of funny because it was kind of like a big like FU to Doxa, like we did it and we did it first and we did it right, and then they dropped out, and Synchron doesn't do watches. Like, it was an unannounced limited edition release. They put it out there, sold them, and it's an awesome watch and it's really cool. So YZ80 says, should I get a new Breitling BSO or a new Oris Aquas bicolor? That's a tough one. They're both really cool. If you're a serial flipper, they're both also going to take about a similar hit, I think, on the flip. So it's a 50-50 shot to which one you want to pick up. That was not good. Buying experience was the most. Carrie says, I picked up a 5000T military when they first came out. Was not a good buying experience. Was the most expensive watch I'd ever purchased and was pretty let down by the experience. What's the 5000T? Sent the totally wrong watch. Plus crown was cross-threaded out of the box on the correct one. I don't know what this watch is that you're talking about. What's the brand? I don't know what the 5000T is. Is that that's one of the big boy Doxas, isn't it? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I've never messed with any of those. Those are like the big boy doxas. Those are not cheap. You're right. Yeah, and I don't know how their service and everything is, like all that stuff. I never dealt with that. It's just my understanding or my history with it is when they had an authorized dealer in the United States, like few years ago, their relationship with them was terrible and very overbearing with their rules and everything. Now, maybe they got new, people that are running the show and they've changed it and stuff like that, but that's kind of soiled my view of the brand. So, will I ever own a Doxa? Yeah, I'll probably own a Doxa. I'm not like banning Doxa. I'm not telling you guys to not buy Doxa. I think they make great watches and they have like uh, they're just cool. So, Paul says, when will I be down in Dallas to visit Zodiac and Jack Mason? That's in the works. I'm working on that. I actually talked to Michael over at Zodiac at the Chicago Windup, and I've been talking to, I forget his name, the guy over at Jack Mason, and that is in the works. I'm definitely not going anytime soon because you guys are ridiculous hot down there. It's like 110 degrees, so it'll probably be closer to like November or something. Yeah, yeah. So it'll be later for sure when it cools down a little bit. Then I'll get down there. Barry Kelly says, "Hi from Australia. I'm interested in the look of the black dial Invicta 31290, but having trouble finding one in Australia. Have you any recommendation for an alternative for me to look at?" I'm not familiar with that particular number. I don't know my Invictas very well, so I'm not sure what the 31290 looks like. So Barry, if you want to hit me up on Instagram or send me an email, I can maybe help you out, but I get really busy. Sometimes it takes me a while to answer those questions. KR Joy says the Zodiac guys that wind up were amazing. I agree. Yeah, Paul says 109 down there today. That's insane. 109 might as well be 110. Like whatever. Might as well be 120. It doesn't matter. I'm not going. It's too hot. Let's see. What's the watch in front of your random Rob card? Thanks for replying on the question I had earlier. This is I'm going to screw up the name again. Fola? I don't know how to say it. I forget what letter's silent. But really cool watch. I think the retail price on it is like $1,500, but you can probably get a little bit better deal on it. Bi-directional ball bearing bezel. I believe I don't know if that's ceramic. That's sapphire, I think. The Loom on this is crazy. Wait till I do the Loom, guys, when I'm done. But really cool. And then it has a couple other little weird features with this thing that you don't typically see on other watches. And then the bracelet and clasp are awesome as well. So pretty good package for essentially $1,500. But you can get a little bit cheaper if you do a little bit of work. Talk to the owner, Izzy. He's pretty cool. So see what you can do. Yeah, the hype on the 5KX GMT. Anytime there's a new watch that comes out, there's gonna be hype on it. The new Breitling Super Ocean had hype on it. Is it indifferent whether you liked it or not. The 5KX, kind of the same thing. The GMT. What else has been recent the Tudor Ranger? Look at the hype on that thing. It's crazy. Like anytime there's a new release of a watch that is typically received well from the enthusiast level, there's hype. We get all worked up over it. Is the Tissot C-Star 200 worth the price, or go other dive watch around that same price point? Tissot's are awesome. They're part of this watch group. You got a lot of stuff going on there, so it's really cool. Engineer Wannabe's got to go take care of the babies. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Yeah, Craig G says the Follett GMTs are $14.95 retail. Was Stella watches from New York City at the Chicago show? Yes, they were, and I did talk to the reps there, or the owners. I think it was a husband and wife. They're owners. I talked to them in San Francisco, and I talked to them in Chicago, and um, I got their card, I think. So I got to do a bunch of emails and reach out to these companies because we're going to be working together. Like I'm going to get a bunch of these watches in, and honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, like I'm getting burned out. I know it was going to happen at some point. I'm getting burned out. But when I go to these Microbrand events like this, I do get inspired because it's not like these people are standing there trying to sell their watches. Obviously, they need to sell watches to keep the brand going and to keep, the lights on sort of thing. But it's more than that. It's like these are labors of love from these people. Not only they put their heart and soul into this and their creativity into it, but also their financial, they invest into it. They believe in it, right? So, and you get that vibe, that aura in the presence of these brands and the owners. It's a next level thing. It's not the same as like going to an authorized dealer or something that's a different, awesome experience as well. But when you're at the level, when you're working directly with a micro brand, with the owners, there's no other experience like it, at least in watches that I can think of. I don't know what other industry you can have that experience. I'm sure there's others. So, but it's really cool. Let's see. Dwight says, "Hey Rob, any other strap bracelet considerations for the King Turtle?" Well, I'll show you something. I wanted to try, actually, this just came in today. Now, it's not the right color, it's black, but it was so cheap on my Discord. I just picked it up because I wanted to experiment. I wanted to see if I would like this. I know it's funky, it's crazy, and it's going to be a hate it or love it thing, but I wanted to try this out on the King Turtle just for like the feel on wrist, right? See what it was going to feel like. So I'm going to try this one, and if I like it, then I'm going to buy it in the non-coated variation, right? So it works on the King Turtle. So I think I'm going to like it. I don't see why I wouldn't. As long as it fits well on my wrist and everything, I think it might be my choice that I might go with. Like, a quick experiment, just putting it on my wrist, like, it works. Yeah, imagine the tan lines. That could be fun too, I suppose. But I don't know. It's different enough that it's going to work for me, I think. Let's see. Watch We Go says, "Keep up the travel. Would love to see more videos of the conventions." Well, as far as I know, I haven't booked my flight or anything, but I should be going to the New York wind up event, and I'm sure I'll meet up with a bunch more people there. My good friend Homer, I think Bruce is actually going to go with me, so like it's going to be awesome. MM10 with a $2 here super chat says, "Watches or brand that stood out most at Wind Up Chicago?" I gotta say, I was very impressed. Okay, so this is going to be a weird one. So I'm going to bring out a couple, but a weird one that really stood out with me, and then I definitely am going to pick one up, is actually the Citizen Orca. And I'm probably going to get the black dialed one with the stainless case. But putting that Orca on wrist was like crazy comfortable. It's such a freaking cool watch. It's so weird. And they're pretty dang affordable. Honestly, I should have just bought one there at the show because they were offering me a decent discount. So I should have just bought it there. But I want that Citizen Orca. There's some other colorways from this lineup on Citizen that I want to try. So I'm a big fan of Citizen right now. And then, of course, that new titanium one coming out. So what was the other ones? Obviously, the Formex guys, they're essentially their entire lineup will have you scratching your head as you're trying them on. You're just like, I don't know which one I want. They're like all like legit. They're all that good that you're just like, I know I want one, but which one do I want? It's like almost confusing. You almost, to a certain extent, you almost wish they didn't have such a heavy, awesome, lineup. And then kind of the same thing with if you want to get playful and you want to have some fun, the Zodiac Super Seawolf in this size for me, the colorways are just they're just so freaking fun. And the bracelets are amazing. The quality for the price is definitely there. So, you know, Monta was there. I didn't hang out at Monta too much though because Justin wasn't there, and usually that's my contact. So I'm trying to think if there was another one that like stood out to me that I just kind of glossed over. Fairer, I didn't really talk to those guys too much, but they have some really cool colorways. They have some really cool models that look awesome. I didn't, unfortunately, the Oak and Oscar guys were like super busy, so I didn't hang out with them very much, or actually at all. I didn't even go talk to them. But they had like a really cool display and stuff. So the Oak and Oscars are pretty cool, especially if you're in the Chicago, if you're from Chicago. That's a brand that you definitely want to pay attention to. And then again, another fun one would be that Soul Labs, the owner that owns. I'm losing it, guys. I can't keep up. There's so many. It's overwhelming when you're there. Wasn't Fair being super weird in San Francisco, or was it someone else? Well, I think there's like language barriers. Yeah, definitely in San Francisco. And then I didn't really talk to him. I kind of like turn it off. Like I'm like, I'm not gonna go talk to him because like I'm wasting their time and I'm wasting my time. Because I'm there for a different reason than what they think. I actually met up with the owner of Dryden watch. I picked up this. He gave me this UV flashlight. But he had some new models there. Now he wasn't at the show. I mean, he was at the show, but he didn't have a booth at the show. So he showed me his watches later after the show. It wasn't appropriate to do it at the show, right? And then I got to see the new Raven Trekkers too. So even though Steve, the owner, wasn't there, but a friend of his had the watches there, so I got to see those as well. Those are all really awesome watches too, at a crazy affordable price as well. Oh, that glass is empty. Yes, Kevin says Dryden has the Heartlander, which is I like. Yeah, and they got that. I don't know if that's the right one, but it's a really smaller dialed field type watch. Really cool watch. Yep. So pretty cool, affordable watches for sure. Going to New York for the wind up. Oh, um, I'm not sure how to say that. It must be French. He says hello from Montreal. Thinking about going to New York for the wind up fair. Well, if you go, I should be there. Craig G says peanut butter tonight. Yeah, that's all that's left. That's all that's left. Yeah, the water goes down fast. I am drinking water. You know, got to keep the water. Okay, Heartlander is the field watch. But yeah, I was sipping on a little bit of peanut butter too. King Turtle versus Willard. I'm gonna pick the Willard, even though I don't own a Willard and I own the Turtle. But in my defense, the Turtle was given to me. So yeah, so Turtle it is right now. Zodiac has a black rubber strap like your new bracelet. They have a black rubber strap like this. I do have a couple of Zodiac straps here. I have this one, tropical strap, which smells like vanilla a little bit. And then there's another one. But I showed that watch, the smaller Super Seawolf, the vintage looking one, the smaller one. I think it's like 40 mil. I showed it to my wife, and then I honestly have not seen the watch is gone. I don't know where the watch is. So I think she took it. I don't know. I mean, she's been embezzling from me for like, I don't know, almost 30 years, but now she's like taking my watches too. So I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Our du jour is French for time of day. Okay. Chronometer check with a $10 here super chat. It says, love having you in the background while I'm working. Feels like talking to a friend. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Chronometer check. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Even though you're not watching, you're listening. So that's really cool. I should I've talked about this with some other people about doing almost like a podcast style like conversation occasionally. And I don't really have a bunch of time to commit to it, but I could probably organize something with special guest or something and do a short, like it would still be on this channel, but it would be, in a more of a podcast format. So you wouldn't have to watch it. You could just listen. I could potentially arrange that maybe like once a month or something, and maybe just do like industry news updates and our thoughts on things, maybe something like that. Maybe if I could organize that and have like regular guests that could also commit to it, to potentially do that. I thought we were going to do that with Clayton from the Watchdog podcast, but he gets busy. I get it. He did his podcast thing. He was doing awesome, but he gets busy and it's hard to commit that much time to that stuff. John says, what does my wife think about the watch addiction?" She's supportive, man. It's a hobby, it's a job, it's a business, it's all of that stuff. So um, it's yeah, it's a positive thing in my life. It's a positive thing in my family's life. It can become overwhelming sometimes, but even in that scenario, there's still balance. I still make sure I can control it so it doesn't get out of hand. But Uh, you can get with Bruce for the podcast, Floridian. That's a good idea. I think Bruce and I could probably do that. I think Bruce, the only one issue that I could potentially have with the commitment level with Bruce is he's already running his channel, like just like I am. And he also is a father of three young girls, and also has a full-time job. I mean, I have a full-time job, but I'm flirting with that empty nester range, you know what I mean? Like my son is graduated college and um, off to full-time employment, and my daughter's, not too far off from that. Tennessee Mike says can't be all rainbows and unicorns, but I happen to have a rainbow unicorn, so maybe it can be rainbow and unicorns. I don't know. Time will tell. Maybe we can make it happen. Maybe it'll be called Rainbow and Unicorn Hour, and we'll do it once a month or something. So, how about the Accutron watches? So, Paul, actually, I talked to the Bulova guy, and well, they were all like they're right there with Citizen too and stuff like that, and they had the Accutrons there too. So, hopefully, I make that connection really good because he seemed like he was interested in sending me stuff directly. That would be awesome. Uh, Clayton from the Watchdog podcast says, "My podcast downloads have been taking off. I guess quitting was a good strategy." So yeah, maybe the artist just needs to quit. The artist doesn't have to die to become popular or famous. They just need to quit, and then they could come back. I think Cowboy Swami says, "I think it would be cool if Discord members can join the show if they are interested." So that is actually a concept, Cowboy, that I've thought about doing. If like you or some other members are interested in uh, coming on, and as long as I have to organize. The issue I think I would have with it is I'm not very organized. So even when I do my videos, it's really quick. I mean, I could show you this. This is You guys are gonna be like, really? That's it? That's all you do? So like these are like my show notes, right? For doing a video. So I mean legit, like these are the measurements, okay? That's the watch, and I don't even know why I write that. I don't need that. It's just and actually I forgot to even say that. I was gonna say that. Or maybe did I already do the video on that? I think I did. So I give myself very minimal notes, and then I just do it off the top of my head, just free float it and just go for it. And I don't think that's smart to do a podcast style thing like that, but I because there has to be structure. There has to be like questions and answers, there have to be topics, it has to be a little more structured. So I could spend the time and work with somebody or somebody else could do it. Um, to create some sort of format. And then once we have the format, then it's basically it's data entry, just fill in the blanks and then you kind of free form from there. All right, back to watches. Kevin Powell says Traska is shrinking the Summiteer from 38 to 36, should be out later this year. That is actually really cool. I know there's a lot of people that are going to really be digging that. Floridian says, get Tennessee Mike to organize it for you. I feel like I feel bad. I know Tennessee Mike says, like, I'll do more or whatever, but I always feel bad like asking him to do more things. But I also have in my Discord anyway, I also have Craig G and John Page also as admins or moderators. So Chronometer Check says, I think that's why your videos work though. Feels more conversational. Sometimes I don't feel like listening to a whole ordeal about a watch I've already seen. I agree. I agree 100%. I think that's my stick, right? Like I just wing it sort of thing, and it ends up being more conversational, like you said. It 100% makes sense. I don't need to read you the factory specifications for a watch. You can click the link down below and get all that information. And quite frankly, if you're interested in the watch, you've probably already done that. So, like at that point, you probably already know more about the watch than I do. And really, all you need or want is to see the watch on video in different angles and on wrist and a loom shot, maybe see if you can pick up on how the bezel action is or if there's any other weird like quirks or something with the watch. And that's what hopefully I can provide for most people. Most other prepared videos are basically the same info over and over. Yeah, 100%. Have you ever had your Zodiac on a strap yet? Any suggestions? I have not taken the bracelet off this. I really love the bracelet and I like the clasp system, even though it is a butterfly clasp, which there's still plastic on there. This is why I don't like the plastic. If you ever send me a watch, get rid of all the plastic. That stuff annoys me. So, yeah, I don't know. Is that 20 or 22 mil? I feel like that might be 22. No, it's 20. I mean, how do you match? That's the problem with putting like a aftermarket strap on a watch like this. You can't match that green or that coral looking color. Like you're not going to match that unless you go with a NATO. There might be some crazy NATOs out there, but that's not in my wheelhouse. So otherwise, you're going to have to put like a black strap on this, and I don't think that's going to look right. I don't think that's going to look good. So it almost has to live on maybe white. Maybe you could go with white would look okay. Let's see. So Andre says, been eyeing Zodiac for a while, still debating. It would be nice if you could get your hands on one to actually check it out, and unfortunately, that's difficult to do. But at some point, maybe you can network with somebody and get hands on with one because I get it. It's a lot of money, and it's not a typical watch because it is this colorway, for example. If you exploit what Zodiac is really good at, and that's like the pop of colors and everything. Now they have like regular everyday style watches, but we like the pop of color. We like the watermelon and the sherbird and the white and blue. They're not going to be very versatile per se, in the sense that, like, depending on what environment you're going in, do you need to dress very casual so that this works well on your wrist, or do you try to like, match it a little bit or tie in? I get it. I tend to not really care, but I'm no fashion expert, so I'm pretty terrible at that. But because I'll wear it with anything, I don't really care. Yeah, 100%. If you can make it to the wind up show, problem solved. Because you are going to get hands on. I mean, the accessibility you have to the watches is like mind blowing because it's basically they're all sitting there. It's not like you have to talk to a sales attendant and be like, "Hey, can you grab that one? I want to see that one." And they put a mat on it. No, they're just like legit, just sitting there on the table or like on little stands, and you just grab them. You just grab them. And you might be waiting to see that one, and this guy's holding it. As soon as he puts it down, you grab it. Like it gets pretty wild. What are we talking about? The size of the watches. Yeah, Black Bay 36, Black Bay 41, the Ranger 39, the Ranger 41. Uh, yeah, everyone's gonna have their own thoughts on that depending on your wrist size and everything like that. Neff says, honestly, if you can't make it to a show and want to try microbrands out, join Rob's Discord when it's open. Their watch tours and flippers always has a ton. Not to mention, not that you're probably not gonna be able to get into my Discord. I hate to say that, like, but the odds of you being able to get into my Discord if you're not already in there are gonna be it's gonna be difficult. But definitely reach out to me and see and try. But there's relationships in there that people will loan each other watches too. It's crazy. Paul says William Wood watches seem cool. Thoughts? That is actually a good brand that stood out to me, and that was the first William Woods, the rep there, the owner, was the first one to reach out to me after the show. He emailed me today. I emailed him back, and he's sending. He let me pick. I wanted the red dial with the bronze case, and the bronze case is actually a melted old helmet. There's history with it, and the watch straps are crazy. So very cool brand, very cool idea, and what they're doing for the firefighting community is like next level. It's awesome. So probably next week you're going to see a Williams Wood on this channel. So look forward to that. That's happening soon. Oh, yeah, Mark, the William Wood rubber straps are freaking awesome. They have like um the material from, what do you call it? The material from the hoses, the water hoses for the firefighters is awesome. So yeah, let me kill the lights. We'll check the loom. Let's do it upright. Let's blast this stuff. Let's blast. Let's do some legit loom here. We got a nomadic out here. We got the notice. We got the full. Dwight with a $2 here super chat late in the thing. I'm getting ready to shut down. Says thoughts on dive watches with the crown on the left. It's not my favorite, but I think they're really cool. If you like them, then definitely go for it. What isn't that called? Something? What is that called? Destro. I don't. People call that destro. I think for some reason. I don't remember why. I don't know what it means. Somebody probably knows, and you could figure it out. But yeah, they're destros. I always think of like Destro from the GI Joe. Remember, he was like a bad guy or something. I don't know. That's what I thought of. We don't have the pointer finger, but we got the rainbow unicorn with the glowy horn. So we have that. That's pretty wild. But I mean, look at the loom on these micro brands, guys. How do you not fall in love with micro brands? I mean, even Island Watch, like their loom is crazy. The Zodiac obviously is just bonkers. The Foget or whatever it is, I forget what it's called. The Squale full loom, just ridiculous. Notice. I mean, BGW9 never looked so good, guys. It is crazy application of BGW9. Seiko, Microbrand, G-Shock, absolute love them, absolute passion. And then, of course, there's the luxury watches. You can't go wrong. I'll see you guys on the next video.